and hi recording. I'm Kelly Grace Thomas and I'm sharing Boat Burned with you tonight. That's my intro. So I was in this spa and I was taking off my clothes and I was thinking, all right, I would be a boat. And I sat down and I wrote this poem called The Boat of My Body, really to just kind of examine a lot of the things that I was grappling with: womanhood, femininity, feeling extremely unlovable, body image issues, like you name it. If it could be felt, I was feeling it. So a lot of the poem goes through also my experience of my family is a boating family, and my family went bankrupt and were evicted from their homes. And the only thing we had left was this boat. So we spent a summer sailing from New Jersey to Florida, where my dad would then move to Florida. So there's a lot of different themes that run throughout the book. And then here's one of them. Speaking of the body, this is called How the Body is Passed Down. My mother unzips the body, passes it down. The dress, tailored too tight, leaves red indentations pressed hard as apology. My mother was still hungry. Royal with fridge glow, learned that loneliness eats with its hands. My body has always been a window I cannot throw myself from. Breasts, stomach, thighs, dimpled and swollen, wetted wood, and a house I was born into but did not build. I see my mother's hips every time I open the fridge. Every time the fridge opens me, my cabinets stocked with shame, what a mother feeds her young. Now I know a body can haunt itself, be a fear that no one else believes in, a ghost that only says my name. Thanks. This is called Where No One Says Eating Disorder. When I was young, I pretended we weren't sick. 3 women, 3 rooms. The body, a dark teacher. My sister studied evacuation, tried to expel it all, greedy with knowledge, wouldn't let the stomach outbacked her. My mother hoarded everything inside, bunkered her body so no one could leave it again. I took almost nothing. My mother changed the subject when I cried. At each bite, found a backpack full of diet pills, told me I had wasted my money trying to disappear. She didn't know how to heal the quiet between us. Starved for food, men, attention, its own meal, the small gods we let control us. We were so hungry for anything to love us back. Last time I was here, I read a poem about my husband and his beard, and I'm gonna read it again because I feel a lot more hopeful than I used to. And I hope that we're all, no matter whoever you voted for, I hope that we're all just celebrating moving towards unity and moving towards love and acceptance and coming together and all that good shit. So this is called I Suggest Omid Shaves His Beard. And I hate myself for it. But it could be the difference between whether he comes home or not. Half this country sees beard and thinks bomb, thinks Muslim means murder, and that half looks just like me. Omid's beard grows fast with my worry. I fear the other half will never half consider the softness of his smile. That Persians are poets, that the sun rises in the east at night. I run my fingers through his beard, the razor of the nightly news pressed and I'm not sure I can keep either one of us safe. The day after the last election, he tells me terror is being caught in the crosshairs of a white man's gaze. Half this country has eyes like a loaded gun. After I ask, he turns to me and says, yes, I am scared, but I will never shave parts of myself away so more of this can grow. All right, I am going to read. I'm going to read 2 more boat burn poems, and then I'm going to read some new shit, because why not? So a lot of the boat is kind of based on the epigraph that Sun Tzu says, when you cross into enemy territory, you burn the bridges and you burn the boats. And when I started writing this book, I didn't like myself. And I think that a lot of the times I come to a poem because I'm wrestling with something. I'm trying to figure myself out. I'm trying to figure out the world. And, you know, I thought a lot about this quote. And I think that sometimes that enemy territory for me so often can be myself, right? That I think about like the places I've been and like how shitty I treated myself or what I thought of myself. And I made this decision, like, I'm not going back to that. So it kind of became like this mantra or anthem. I combined the 2 words, so I said this manthem. So this mantra or this anthem, you know, of like just burning the boats, like leaving that shit behind, leave it behind, only move forward. That's the only option. So this is called Burn the Boats. Because I believe somehow it was my fault. I never told anyone how great-grandmother pinched the extra chub around my waist and asked, who will keep you now? Pointed to every man not at our table, told me I'm only as good as what I can please. Hunger, my only harbor, I carried this. A body full of broken boards and boundaries. I never told anyone how my first love dropped threats like an anchor. Warned me what would happen if I took on water. Sinking always slipped between his speech. I believed being boarded equaled boat. So I floated for 7 years, subtracting what I had for another body, parts of me that couldn't fit inside his hands. My first love never let me use the front door. Instead, gave me a dark portal to climb through. I only remember this. In bed, he would measure the circumference of my thighs and then beg for less. I became the smallest vessel I could steer. Every day he climbed through my story until I gathered enough distance to choose another name. I can't turn back. I strike a single match, burn myself brighter. The boats that built me smoke on shore. All right, and I'm gonna finish, thank you, with finish the boat burn portion of the reading with a poem about my husband, Omid, again. I like to kind of sandwich like the bad guy poems with the good guy poems. I think it's an important reminder that there are some good guys out there. This is called Small Things. Something you should know is I used to live in LA, which is a lot more diverse than where I live now. I live in a suburb outside the Bay Area, which is lovely, just a very different landscape. This is called Small Things. The webs of Walnut Creek are all spun white. In our new town, I notice each grocery store glare, sticky stares follow Omid down each aisle. Still, my love keeps quiet hands, wears kindness like salt and pepper stubble. I study him as he hums to houseplants. It's been hard for me to learn a love so gentle, to believe him when he chants me close, hushes, gorgeous, until I fall asleep. In the morning, he scrambles eggs. Spatula in hand, he spots the lonely daddy longlegs in a quiet corner. The wall weaver, nestled next to light, he says, needing a home is such a small thing to be forgiven for. He lets the delicate geometry stay. I am slow to learn how to handle a living thing. I study Omid as he smiles at spiders. I ask him how. His speech soft as saffron breath, a net I lean against. He tells me he's been called a terrorist more times than he can count. His answer, save something smaller. Call each a guest, leave all doors open. Just because the world is called something poison, he says, doesn't mean we kill it. Thanks so much. He is a good human being. He definitely is. He is a keeper. Okay, cool. So I thank you, V, for vouching. All right. So I am working on 2 new projects, and we'll see. I'm going to share probably maybe 2 poems from each. The first is, I slant towards heavy shit in poetry. That's just who I am. And I'm pretty bubbly in real life. And I always tell my mom, like, it's got to go somewhere. Like, it's just the sadness has got to go somewhere. My husband and I, who are lucky to be pretty in love, have been trying to have children for a very long time and are having a lot of issues. So these first 2 poems are about infertility. So the first one is called Body of Song or Infertility. My mother-in-law tells me a baby will not come without music. Says in Sufi cultures, any woman who wants to bloom mother is sent dark. She must steep inside a cave, damp with doubt, until she pulls song from want. She must compose the lyrics to welcome her child in. And when she returns, certain with hunger, she must teach each cousin, neighbor, family, the chorus until stranger and soothe mean the same. So tonight, my child, I build my body, your village. I unfork the river, water each vineyard, serenade the sea. I have written this world for you. Can you hear us? Can you hear us chanting your name? And this next one is called Infertility, or If It Never Happens, and it's after Tracy Brimhall. Well then, the tulips can stop hiding their breath, pink as a newborn or the moon. I did what I could, prepared, prepped so well, planted my schedule in straight pretty rows, picked out their quirks and gender neutral names, took every supplement, got poked with needles, made 547 wishes for a daughter or son. The sun doesn't rise without me praying, please, please be today, and I can no longer hold the heavy of my own disappointment, this monthly torture. How unfair to compare my lack of blood to every new bloom, the rot of this. I tell myself to wholly what I have, choose the consolation of luxury, rehearsed gratitude for each lazy morning, for French cheeses and my new coral heels, no pregnancy weight or soccer practice. I line my lips with extra time. In Napa cabs and sailboat plans, I wear Santorini like a ball gown, stare at summer like my husband's hands, no longer say the word baby. In our bedroom, I sing black lace, ask as Omid licks the dew from my dark. I've gotten so much better. I only cry at every third mention of it, but today is Mother's Day. What I mean is I'm so hungry for a chance. I promise myself, if not now, then maybe. If not maybe, then paperwork. If paperwork, then we family from someone else's genetics. If not ours, then no more grief. If no more grief, then acceptance, then softness. If not softness, then maybe goose feathers. If not feathers, then please, God, any comfort will do. Any comfort I might wrap her in. And if not her, then him. Then a pond somewhere with sunshine and cheerful ducks. Please give me one afternoon of tiny hands and maybe a son, my son who looks at me like a mother. An afternoon where he runs toward each new noun with excitement I've taught him, if not running towards, then perhaps appreciation, perhaps understanding. I promise I won't ask too much, just for a maybe, our garden of maybes, where I sit and sing to them. I think I'll call it spring. So changing gears, because that is some heavy shit that I've been dealing with, I needed some light shit. And I just feel like, sometimes I get so sick of the I in poetry. So I was on an AWP canceled wine trip with the one and only Victoria Lynn McCoy. And after probably numerous wine tastings, I found a book of sad animal facts. And I was like, these animal facts, like they're like, muskrats communicate through farts. Zebras can't sleep alone. They're just like these random facts. So I've started writing these poems. So I'm going to close with two of them because I want to leave you on hopefully a happier note. And yeah, I feel like I am going to, sorry, I was looking for a specific poem. Oh, here we go. All right. I feel like I got to read the crocodile poem because Ben was talking about the crocodiles and the swallowing the rocks with the Robin Cost Lewis poem earlier, right? Or maybe I dreamed that, who knows? So I'm going to open with a crocodile poem, and crocodiles lived, all the titles are facts, and the fact is that crocodiles lived among the dinosaurs. Imagine the quiet after the asteroid or ice age, where an entire species stopped calling back. Each valley starved of stampede, ghosted by genius, the age of reptiles gone. Melody of breath stopped the lonely landscape of musical chairs. Scientists say that crocs swallow stones to stay submerged longer, to dive deeper, but survival has its price. Crocodiles weep when devouring their prey, an involuntary reaction. We call them crocodile tears. We say cold-blooded, but maybe the body remorses what it tries to sink. Maybe each cell cries, carries its questions unanswered, like tiny mountains rumbling inside. And then I'm going to close with a poem about fragility. And that is the fact that around 50% of orangutans have fractured bones due to falling out of trees on a regular basis. So 50% of orangutans are walking around with broken bodies. And I feel that. Someone who feels like I walk around with a broken body in many different ways. I just had to write a poem for my orangutan friends. Around 50% of orangutans have fractured bones due to falling out of trees on a regular basis. And sometimes you just gotta leap. Limbs heavy with luxury, the reward of flight ka-chings. Each new grip dares the bones still left whole, functional. All maybe an orange biceps, orang hutang, human of the forest, 97% ancestor. Just look at their hands, aped by greed, reaching for whatever is green and greener like it's theirs, and who wouldn't expect a fall? The buckling of a branch just trying to be born, a tree rooted too close to chance. The body bets it all. In the end, gravity always wins. I can't help but wonder what could flight me. See myself float through the air, loose as an orange sundress. Why have I gotten so used to this ground? My stupid feet, these small steps of caution, like I wouldn't fracture it all to tender once again. Wouldn't gamble my bones for a handful of sky. Show me anyone among us still in one piece. Thank you so much. Thank you to the ugly mug. I am, as all poets during the pandemic, have copies of books for sale, the signed copies on my website. So I'm going to put that up there. On my website is information about body of art and all the good stuff. I'm also teaching a workshop this weekend on how to infuse surprise into your language for those people who feel like they're stuck on the same images over and over again. So I left links there. Ugly Mug Crew, I love you so much. I'm so happy to be here, happy to listen to your poems. Thank you so much for listening. Thank you, Steve and Ben, for having me and organizing.